The 199-425 Sentimo coin of the Philippines is a product of the improved flora and fauna series, an important phase in Philippine numismatics. This series was introduced to celebrate the rich biodiversity of the country while modernizing the coinage system. In the early 1990s, the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas (BSP) was actively refining its coinage to improve durability and reflect national identity. The improved flora and fauna series, released in 1991, updated earlier designs and corrected earlier minting inconsistencies. The 1994 issue was part of this modernization push, with coins minted primarily for circulation, especially for small transactions. Portrait features Juan Luna, a Filipino painter, patriot, and political activist during the Spanish colonial period. Republica ng Pilipinas encircles the top. Year of issue 1994 appears at the bottom. Symbolism. Juan Luna is most famous for his painting Spoliarium, which became a symbol of Filipino nationalism. The reverse shows the wailing. The Andesanderiana, a rare and highly prized Philippine orchid. 25 Centimo is boldly displayed, with Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas inscribed around the top edge. Flora significance. The wailing is regarded as the queen of Philippine flowers, and symbolizes the richness of Philippine biodiversity. Most coins were minted by the BSP and intended for wide national distribution, used frequently in jeepney fares, sari-sari store transactions, and daily purchases during the 1990s. Its bright golden color made it easy to distinguish from other small denominations, common in circulation, but uncirculated or mint condition coins can fetch higher prices among collectors. Estimated collector value as of 2025. The 25 Centimo coin from this series was eventually replaced in 1995 by the BSP series, which featured a simpler design and focused more on security features. The Flora and Fauna series remains a favorite among collectors for its artistic and educational value. The 1994 25 Centimo coin is one of the last few years this coin retained its full artistic detail before the transition to the more minimalist BSP series in the mid-1990s. The reverse shows the coat of arms of the Philippines, with the sun, stars, and symbols of Spain, the US, and the Philippines. Below the seal is the denomination, 10 Centimo. The 10 Centimo coin from 1972 was made of aluminum. It is lightweight, small, and non-magnetic. 1972 was a historic and controversial year in Philippine history. President Ferdinand Marcos declared martial law on September 21, 1972, just months after this coin was released. The declaration marked a shift to authoritarian rule, and the economic and political changes of this era affected all aspects of Filipino life, civil unrest, but also during infrastructure building and urban development. Pushed by the Marcos regime, the 1972 10 Centimo coin is part of the government's nationalistic movement that aimed to promote the use of the Filipino language. Prior coins bore English inscriptions like Central Bank of the Philippines, but the Filipino series replaced these with Filipino terms like Republica ng Pilipinas and Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas. Apolinario Mabini (1864–1903), who appears on the coin, was one of the greatest intellectuals of the Philippine Revolution. Despite being paralyzed from polio, he served as the first Prime Minister and Secretary of Foreign Affairs in the First Philippine Republic. His inclusion on the 10 Centimo coin reflects the country's respect for his ideas, independence, and integrity values. The Marcos government tried to align itself within the early years, even as political suppression grew. In the 1970s, the 10 Centimo coin still had purchasing power. It could buy small candies, matchsticks, or be used to complete small transactions in commonly used until the late 1980s, when newer coin series began to phase it out. By the early 1990s, the 10 Centimo coin had very little real-world value due to inflation. It became more of a collector's item, especially for those interested in martial law era memorabilia. While it is not rare, the 1970 to 10 Centimo, the 197 to 10 Centimo was part of the Filipino coinage series, the first official coin series to use Filipino national language instead of English. This was a strong symbol of post-colonial identity, coming decades after the country gained independence from the United States in 1946. The coin was minted under the Central Bank of the Philippines, established in 1949. During this period, the bank undertook reforms to stabilize the currency and localize coin production, which had previously been outsourced abroad. choosing Apolinario Mabini, a hero known for honesty, sacrifice, and wisdom, was not accidental. His image served as a moral symbol in a time when national politics was becoming increasingly authoritarian. The government used his image to legitimize its power and remind citizens of patriotic duty. When President Ferdinand Marcos declared martial law in September 1972, the state gained full control over the economy. One aspect of this was tighter regulation of currency flow, coin production, and banking. Coins minted in 1972, including the 10 centimo, were part of a monetary system under centralized authority. The 10 centimo coin was made of aluminum, a cost-effective metal that the government chose during times of rising metal prices and limited coin budgets. Aluminum was also easy to mint in large numbers, though it lacked durability and quickly lost its shine in circulation. In 1972, 10 centimo coins were still widely used in rural towns and local wet markets. They were often used to practices. Most of the 1972 10 centimo coins were minted by the Royal Mint in the United Kingdom. As the Philippines had yet to fully develop its in-country minting capabilities, it wasn't until later years that the security plant complex in Quezon City would handle all minting locally. Public school teachers during the 1970s used actual coins, including the 10 centimo, to teach arithmetic and Filipino history. This helped children recognize national heroes like Mabini and understand currency value. By the mid-1970s, the government introduced a 10 centimo has no variety, making it common. However, mint errors like by the late 1970s and early 1980s, high inflation had eroded the value of low-denomination coins. What could be bought with 10 centimos in 1972 would need 25 to 50 centimos just 5 years later. The 10 centimos slowly lost